They didn't just kick me out of church once. They actually kicked me out twice because I was abused twice. In my last video, I said I was kicked out of church for a youth pastor SAing me, but that wasn't the whole complete story. So the best place to start is probably at the beginning, where a family member went through my book bag and found a letter that I had written to a girl. Back then, being gay wasn't controversial. It was like the ultimate sin. They drove me to school, confronted the girl, and outed me at school, at home, and at church at the age of 15. When the church found out, that's when I was sent to a camp in Jamaica. And that's where I met my first abuser, a woman who pretended to be a safe ear. She told me that being intimate with her would cure me of being gay. She said she was helping me. And that's the one where, when the church found out about that, that's the one where they made me stand up in front of the congregation and apologize on the live stream. That's the one where they made me apologize for making their leader fall. After that happened, when they accepted me back in, they assigned me to a male pastor to be like a mentor, so to speak, my big brother, as he used to call it. He was the head apostle's son. He was fresh out of jail, and he was a known predator as well. He couldn't drive, so I had to drive him everywhere. One night, right as church started, he said he forgot something at home, and he told me to run him back to the house to pick something up. When we got there, I noticed a sheet on the couch. And at that time, I didn't really give it much thought. He told me to grab a seat and he'd be right back out. And he came back out and he had nothing on but his boxers. He sat down next to me and he said that it was his job to fix me. And that once I was with him, I'd never want another woman again. Once they found out about that particular incident, I was called back into the church office, surrounded by about 5 or 6 pastors. Teenage me, little girl at the time, battling adults alone. Once again, they said I was the problem. That time I got kicked out, I left for good. After I left, a few people would check on me, so to speak, but what they were really doing was trying to find out if I was pregnant or not, to make sure I couldn't prove what he did. They didn't care about me at all. I left that church, but scars followed me for years. For years, I carried that shame like it was my fault. And it wasn't until right before I started law school, when I really started my healing journey, that I started to see the full picture. What happened to me was never about help or counseling or trying to make me a better person or anything like that. Nothing that church is supposed to do. It was actually calculated abuse. My abusers recognized that I was alone, that nobody would fight for me, and that they could do whatever they wanted to, and nobody was going to do nothing about it. So they did. It was never my fault. So now, I speak up for everyone that still sits in silence, that carries blame that does not belong to them. You're allowed to tell your story. You're allowed to heal. You're allowed to live a full and beautiful life, no matter what any abuser, no matter what any church or any family member labeled you. I may share more about my story later. I'm not really sure because, as you can see, I'm getting a little upset and it's still kind of hard to talk about at times. But just know for now, just know your story is yours. You can speak it, and don't let anybody silence you.